Hello and welcome to Community with me, Melissa Sandfield. Today is April Fool's. It's April 1st, and who did you play a trick on today? This holiday, which I guess is not really a holiday, it has no specific origin. Like, no one knows when it started or how it started or even why we still participate in it, but it's a tradition, and I haven't played a trick on anyone, but the day's not over yet. Today, I have some amazing, very, very strong-willed people. We're doing a panel today. This is our 6-week panel. We do them every 6 weeks now, and we kind of call it Community with Me After Dark because it might get a little spicy. You might want to put the kids to bed. We're going to do a whole lot of talking about relationships, and I said why men cheat, and then one of my panelists said why people cheat. So that tells you about just how this is going to go for this hour. So we're going to start out with introducing our guest, and then they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves. First, to my immediate left, I have Gail Davis. She's an author. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we're going to go around the studio.
Okay, hi out there in TV land. My name is Gail Davis. I'm an author of Not Afraid to Tell Who I Was Because I Know Who I Am, and I do know who I am, and I'm just honored to be back on the show. I was on the show about 2015, so I'm back on the show, and I'm just honored to be here.
Okay, and next we have Mr. Tim Alexander. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Great. It's great to be here.
Did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, let's see. What's there to tell? I'm a filmmaker.
Yes.
I did a film called Diary of a Tired Black Man, and I'm a dad. That's my main job.
Wow.
And, you know, black men don't do that. So they say.
I know, I heard.
So they say. Not true, though.
That's the next
But
show.
anyway, I also manage an Olympic athlete, Siobhan Stoddard. She's amazing. She runs the 400-meter hurdles, and this is her third Olympics in 2016 that she's going to.
Damn.
And she's also a recording artist.
Oh, cool.
She has an amazing album that we're releasing, so she's a real track star on the music track and the running track.
Oh, good.
So that, and I started as a fashion photographer, so I still do my photography, and I do film, and I manage. So I have pretty busy.
Oh,
and on top
great.
of that, I've got this passion to try to help the world to get a better grasp on where we're going wrong.
Right.
You know, because the single motherhood situation and missing fathers is really the destruction of our family.
Right.
And it was orchestrated. So we have to look at what the real problems are and try to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and over there on the other side, Ricky Richardson. Tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Ricky Richardson. I'm currently employed at UPS. I have a passion sort of like you. My passion is breast cancer awareness. I mean, it's really, you know, when you have people in your family die from it, it really wakes you up, and you don't understand it, but it wakes you up. So I get more involved in it and try to encourage everybody to get involved in it. So that's where my passion lies at right now. So that's it about me, really.
Okay, cool. And next we have Keith
My name
O'Leary.
is Keith O'Leary, Irish boy. I'm a server. I'm an aspiring filmmaker, learning from the best over here.
Cool.
Young protege, I guess, maybe, hopefully.
Yes, yes.
One day I'll be there. And,
cool.
yeah, kind of here against my will, right?
Yeah, I made him go to the mic. I was like, go sit down at the mic. Believe me, it'll be okay. It'll be painless and harmless.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we're going to talk about relationships, and we're going to talk about, I said why men cheat, but, you know, Ricky said why do people cheat. So what do we think about people in the relationships today and monogamy? Does anyone, what do you think about monogamy and being with one person?
I'd like to ask why you originally said why men cheat and not why people cheat. Why did you see it from a one-sided perspective?
Because
let's address you first.
Because I'm a woman, and I figured this would be a great topic.
Oh, you only care about it from that direction.
Well, I don't think women cheat.
Oh, now let's start the show. You don't think women
Let's
cheat.
get ready to rumble.
That's what
Aren't
we
they
need.
the founders of it?
She knew the button.
Aren't they the founders of it?
Yeah, but how often do women brag about how proficient and efficient and spectacular they are at cheating?
Exactly.
And they brag about how they do it, and we just too stupid to see it.
Messy.
Yeah, they brag about how it's like, you guys, I've been cheating on you for the last 6 months. You didn't even know it, you big dummy. You know?
Okay, Tim. All right, Tim. Trying to get
So,
started over
again,
here.
to my original question, what do you think about monogamy? And that goes both ways. What do you think about one person just really being with one person?
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be biblically, you know. That's how it should be, but it's just not. I mean, you have material things, you have certain kind of issues that people can deal with. So it's kind of hard sometimes. I mean, it's just that you have to understand the reason why first before you can really do anything else. I mean, it could be any reason for a person to do that, but
So many reasons, yeah.
huh?
It's a lot of reasons.
A
You're
lot.
right.
I mean,
There's so many
it's a
reasons.
scale. I mean, we could be here all night talking about each
All
reason,
night, yeah.
all night. But you know, the basic is you want to find out why. You want to know why. Because some people, even when you get hurt by a person, you sit there and you wonder, why did you do this to me?
Right.
How could you do this to me? You know, I did this for you, did that for you, and you still did this. I was good to you, stuff like that. So, you know, you still want to come out there and say, you know, why hurt me?
Well, I got to give it to my man. He started off right. You know, he mentioned, you know, biblical values. I love monogamy. I love monogamy so much. I'm monogamous while I'm not even with my future wife. I'm celibate almost 7 years.
Wow.
So I'm warming up on my monogamy. I ain't doing nothing.
Wait, I got
it's gonna be
something
my
for that.
wife, and that's it. When I get a wife, she gets all the good stuff. Before then, it's like, hey, you can wish, can't have it, saving it, ain't doing it. I made my mistakes. I've learned that when you get outside of God's will, He does not bless you in your mess.
He
I've
don't
had
mess
relationships that probably could have been good if I would have been obedient and conducted myself the right way.
And that's it.
And so I'm tired of making the same mistake because I'm not insane.
Right.
Yeah, well, I did some interviews this week. I interviewed a couple of people because I just wanted to have some viewpoints of different people. And a couple of people, you know, one guy, he was telling me that when the woman starts to argue and fuss and fight and, you know, just rowdy, right? Then the man, a seed is planted in his head. And when that seed gets planted in his head, ooh, I want somebody that's going to talk to me nice and respect me or whatever. And so then he go to the store and who pops up? You know, Miss Humble, Miss Sweet, and Miss everything that he think he wants, right?
Right.
But I feel that even in that, if the woman is arguing, it still have to be on the woman and the man.
Right.
Because it have to be something that she's arguing about.
Right.
And then he have to, like I said on the last show, cater to her insecurities. And if she's feeling insecure, it's for a reason. It's not, I don't think most women that really want to be in a relationship, they start an argument just for nothing.
Right.
You know, unless they just had that past thing that, you know, they arguing for no reason. But most women argue when they're feeling insecure rather than they're feeling like, well, he's coming home way too late, or he's not answering his phone, or he's taking off on business trips, or whatever the reason may
Right.
be. I just feel that, you know, and I do feel like what the two guys were talking about it's biblical. I feel that it goes back to biblical days also.
Right.
That's my thing.
Right.
I feel that men back in biblical days, they had wives, concubines, and they had a lot of different, you know, women. So I think the spirit of that got passed down from generations. So it just became the norm almost. And then from a young man, most men are taught, this is from a guy, right? He said from a young guy, he was taught to get all that he can get from a young guy. You know, like, you the man.
It just depends on which socioeconomic group you're raised in, I think,
Right.
as far as
No,
that goes.
I'm saying
because
for the guy that I interviewed. This is
Oh,
what he
oh,
told me.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just coming from what he said. You know, he said that
no, but
from
I
a young
said,
man,
what
he
do
was taught.
you think about monogamy?
I think that it should be monogamous. I think that everyone should be with one person. That's the way God made it. He made Adam and he made Eve. He did not make Adam and and Sally and Sue and Jane and all that. You know, he made Adam and Eve.
Right,
So
right.
I think it should be. And then when your feelings are into one person, that's a soul tie. It's not just about a relationship, physical thing. It's a soul tie. Your soul is tied to that person.
Right.
So I really feel that it should just be one on one, and you really should be married.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keith,
that's
I
what
need
I
you to
feel.
chime in.
All right, coming in hot over here. Yeah, to touch on,
Gail.
you said, Gail.
Yeah.
You said that it really starts from how you were raised, right?
Yeah.
You said different socio-economical groups
Yes.
that you were raised in. I myself was raised in like a middle class, Caucasian family, but I was taught that it's always just one man and one woman, But then I get into school and I'm getting all sorts of different things thrown at me. I'm hanging out with friends, hanging out with girls, and all of a sudden now it's like, forget what what they said was wrong.
Right.
Like,
This is what
it's
it
all
is.
about getting with girls, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And that culture is really spread like a wildfire, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that wasn't just me. That's just the norm now. That's not right.
It's the norm.
It wasn't right.
It's the new norm.
It's the
I
new
think
norm.
for our generation, and maybe just the generation that came maybe before me, like, when do you think it started, Tim, when people weren't getting together and courting and getting married and building families, having one family unit? When do you think that's kind of stopped? I think it was maybe like in the 70s, right?
It got heated up in about 1967, 1968. By the time you got to the early 70s, it was in full swing. We had a very unnecessary experience in our American history, which was called the sexual revolution. That was spawned by the second wave of feminism, which ended up being the radical wave of feminism. There is no reason to have a sexual revolution to not be sexually objectified, which is what they said their objective was. That got people having sex outside of marriage, which before then most people attempted to. Remember when we were young, the big question was, how many people have you slept with? You slept with how many people? Now it's like, they don't even want virgins anymore because they don't have enough experience.
Right.
So,
right.
we're so sexed up, and the media just feeds us a constant diet of sex everywhere. It's in the children's cartoons.
Yes.
And so you
everything.
never see an instance of sex between a married couple in film and television. It's always a boyfriend and girlfriend, somebody that just rescued somebody, two people that just met, a boss and his employee.
Right.
It's never two married people. Who wants to see
Right.
that? Gross.
Right.
So we
And I
have
never
been
thought about that.
Yeah, we have been fed a constant diet of incorrect images of sexuality.
Yeah.
And people now believe that sex is their birthright. Sex is as free as air. You just go and get some. And they don't have any connection. I met people who have been going to church most of their life, and they're in their 30s, and they didn't know that having sex outside of marriage was against God's will. They didn't know.
They
like,
wasn't
really?
taught.
What church were they going to?
I know. What church were they going to?
A lot of these churches they're going to really aren't that good at teaching certain messages. That's why they're so big.
Well, most of the
They
time,
have a lot of
churches can't
members
teach
because
it.
they
Can't
don't
practice
they
that.
don't deal with certain things. They deal with the
Yeah.
stuff that keeps people coming in the door so they can grow. And that's where we're landing now. So we have to, those of us that know better, we have to teach better to our
Right.
younger people.
Yes.
And so the sexual revolution changed the entire dynamics of everything, and that's when we got all the out of wedlock births, because that was before the pill and before abortion. And I met many a woman that said the first time she had sex, she got pregnant. When do you want to have sex? When you're menstruating. No pill, no abortion. They weren't using condoms because we didn't have all these crazy diseases you can't get rid of.
Right.
So they got popped first time out the box by men who never promised to be with them until the day they died.
See.
They just wanted sex.
Right.
So they're not going to stay around and be a good dad because that's not what they were there for.
Right.
And that's why we're where we are now.
But the point you also said about church and the pastors, it starts there because you have pastors sleeping with people in their church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that really makes you go there to learn about God and you believe in this man.
Yeah.
People look up to a pastor. And then to find out that he done slept with this girl, that girl, and
Or that boy. Don't
Huh?
believe the
He's
boy.
that too, exactly. That's
That's
true
a
too.
whole nother show.
Yeah, and
That's double indemnity.
show.
But,
that turns people off.
I mean, when I was 5, I knew I wasn't supposed to have sex. I didn't even know what sex was.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't supposed to have it.
Exactly.
Right.
But
Until
now you
was
can go
married.
all the way up in the church. And it's like, what do you mean I can't have sex? God wants me to be happy. It makes me happy so I can do it.
Well, let's kind of go back to
Okay.
cheating.
Cheating.
Let's go back to that. So I want to give like this scenario, right? So you're in this relationship, you just met this guy or girl, and 3 months into it, you find out he's cheating. Do you consider it to be cheating if you're just courting or if you're just dating? Is that cheating if someone steps outside of your sexual relationship? Do you consider that cheating? Or if they talk or text or they're sexting or they meet for coffee at Starbucks, do you consider that cheating? Like what do you consider cheating? And I personally don't think it's cheating until you're married because you haven't made that commitment. That's what I think.
That's what it is.
I think two people could make a commitment without being married. They don't have to be married to make a commitment. And so if it depends on what the relationship, what's the stipulations, you know. Like you guys could say, oh, well, we're going to just try and see how this is going to work out. Or you guys could just say that, okay, we're going to be in a monogamous relationship. You know, so I think the stipulations have to be made at the beginning. And I do think if you're in a committed relationship with someone and they should only be with you and you should be with them because it's, first of all, like everybody knows, too many diseases going around.
Right.
And then second of all, it's a soul tie. And then you could never be in a relationship. If you're going to start the relationship wrong, it's going to end up wrong anyway.
Right.
It's never going to go
Tim?
right.
The access to people to cheat with is off the chart. Before, cheating didn't happen as much because most people said no to sex unless you're in a serious relationship.
Right.
But now you can just meet somebody and say, hey, you want to do it? And they just say, yeah, okay, where do you want to go, here or there?
Right.
And it's just that easy. So, you know, I often say that a vagina traded on the stock market would be worth a nickel. It's just too plentiful. I mean, there's no supply and demand. Women have cheap in vagina.
But you got to say that on the other side, too. Now, you
well,
can't
we
just
know
say
penises
vagina.
are always cheap.
Okay,
but anyway. Okay, penises are cheap, ladies. Penises are cheaper
So
than
what
vaginas.
degree-
How's that? You happy?
Okay,
What
pennies about a
degree-
penny, and we're gonna say.
What degree do you what's the degree of cheating? Like, I mean, what do you consider cheating?
There's emotional cheating, there's physical cheating.
Amen. Yes.
If I was in love with a woman and we had a relationship, and it was obviously a relationship, and she was talking to somebody every day and just enamored with them and was too respectful or too God-fearing to have sex with this person, but just cared about them, that's emotional cheating.
That's emotional cheating.
That's the same thing.
Same thing.
You know?
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, you
Yes.
talk to this person
I
real
agree
nice. I
with
hear you on the phone talking all nice and gentle. Then you talk to me, you have this harsh sound in your voice, and I seem like I get on your
Yeah.
nerves all the time. That's emotionally cheating. You've
That's
emotionally lost that
emotionally
person.
cheating. Exactly.
And then there's physical cheating, where they may love you to death. They just like to go over and get their itch scratched.
yeah, a little grief.
You know, and so, and then there's the full thing where you're emotionally and physically involved, and then you just, you know, but cheating is something that you know is happening to you because you don't feel good when it happens.
Right.
Amen. And you
know, it's
feel
pretty
it.
simple. And you know
You
when
know.
somebody's cheating on you. It's when somebody's really with you, you know that. When they're not really
Yeah.
with you, you know that.
Like Tyler Perry said, if you think your mate is cheating, then they're cheating. That's it.
Okay. And Keith? Chime in.
Yeah, I've actually got a personal experience with this just the last month or so.
Oh, let's sip tea. Come on, tell us about it.
So I was, I work at this restaurant, and there's this girl who was an interest, you know. I was interested in her, so I was hanging out with her, being friendly, of course. No, not much else. Like, I mean, you know, I've got morals. She's actually 17. Let me start there. I'm 22. So that's a little, I mean, I wasn't having sex with her, so I was hanging out with her, you know, because
Right.
I thought she was cute and she was
Right.
friendly. So then there's this other girl that I met that's my roommate's friend, and I started hanging out with her, and I started going on dates with her. Now, I'm not committed to either one of these girls, right? I'm not, because if she knew that, if I was committed, she would know it, because I can't hold back my feelings. So if I'm committed to this girl, she's gonna know how I feel and everything. And I have not committed to any of these girls,
I like
but I'm
it.
hanging out with both. Now, I told this girl that I was hanging out with this girl. I mean, I didn't tell her I was sorry. I told this girl that I was gonna hang out with my brother, and then she found out I was hanging out with this other girl, and then she got all mad like I was cheating on her. But technically, I wasn't
Right.
emotionally committed to her.
Well, why you didn't just tell
In
her
a
the
sense, I
truth?
lied to her. That's the truth.
Not in a sense.
But-
You
Yeah.
directly
Yeah,
lied to me.
Yeah.
Why you couldn't just tell her you was gonna go hang out with the
Yeah.
other girl?
If there's no
Well,
commitment, then what
committed.
are you
Yeah,
hiding
exactly.
from?
She knew that I was actually talking to this girl, but she didn't know that I was still talking to her. So in a sense, but I didn't want her to get mad because I mean, like,
You wanted to keep
You
it
want to
around?
keep
you know,
your
I wanted to
options
keep,
open.
yeah, I wanted to keep talking to her, but I didn't want to. You know.
So what color
Is that
gray? What
cheating?
color
I
gray
don't
do you
think
like?
What color gray exactly? Because it's black and white. Not
Do you like dark gray or light gray?
What is the question? I don't get it.
You're in the gray area.
You're
It's
saying-
either black
Okay,
or
okay.
white.
Like
You know, 'cause
you're a little wrong, is what he's trying to say.
You like light gray, dark gray, middle gray?
It was wrong to lie, but I did. You know, I liked both girls. You know what I mean?
But you like both girls,
but
but-
I wasn't committed to either one of them.
So you're
But-
trying to make technicalities.
But your point is, you weren't cheating, but the girl said you were, and you all are really just friends.
Yeah.
And you weren't fully forthright, and you must have felt enough commitment to not tell her the real truth because you didn't want to hurt her.
I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
And the
I'm
very
always
fact you
looking
didn't
out for
wanna hurt
feelings
her-
on their end. I never want to hurt anybody's feelings.
But you know what the best thing is? To tell the woman the truth every time.
truth hurts.
And it's so good to tell the truth, right?
Make her work harder.
Yeah, but just tell the truth, right? And just tell, look, I'm seeing other people, and tonight I'm seeing someone else. And you just, I think if this started happening in the world, people start telling truth to each other, we'll have a better relationships and better everything.
I'll tell you a
Just tell
secret.
the
It makes
truth.
them want you more.
And Ricky, we're gonna get
Yeah.
your thoughts on what is the degree of cheating. What is it? You know, where does it start for you, or in your mind? And then we're gonna take a quick break.
Oh, go now.
Go now.
Okay. Well,
Go.
it's kind of like you said in the beginning. I mean, if two people meet each other 3 months out, you either going to establish, say, we're going to be together, and just me and you, nobody else. You not have to be married. So if you both communicate that to each other and you say, all right, this is us, we're together. Whoever you dealt with before, let them know you got somebody now. Now it's time for us to focus on what we want to go in our life. Because basically, usually that first year of courting, dating, whatever, you kind of getting used to each other, trying to feel each other vibe out. Then it's usually that second year you really know, okay, is this a person I can actually spend the rest of my life with, or do I want to spend the rest of my life with this person? So now that's where it becomes more serious. So then if you do step out, then yeah, it's cheating on that person.
Right.
I mean,
I like it.
Okay.
but you got to look at the reason why, though. I mean, because you still, if he's not affectionate and she's that type of person that like affection, and he's not that way, and that's what she's missing, she might find a man that's going to be that way. So she might actually want to cheat, step out on him. And it's the same way for him. She might not do something that he likes or that he's used to, then it makes him go back to where he'd been before.
Right.
So that's another reason why, you know, some
Well, I got
people
my
cheat.
first question for the next segment. We'll be right back.
That's real good.
Yeah.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull sugar-free energy drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull sugar-free energy drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull sugar-free energy drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull sugar-free energy drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
And we are back. We have another guest that just came in. I went down to the bar in Brownstone Bistro, which has really good food. I went downstairs and I said, hey, I need another panelist for my show. And she said, sure, I'll come up. So introduce yourself to us, please.
Hi, I'm Beverly Duke.
Beverly Duke, thank you for coming up.
Thank you for inviting me.
We just were discussing why people cheat. You missed about maybe 25 minutes, but my next burning question is, okay, I have a friend, so I'm gonna give you this scenario. What do you think? I have a friend that said his wife does not do this one certain thing that he absolutely loved to be done to him before he got married. And for 15 years they've been married and he hasn't gotten it. Is he wrong if he goes out to get that one particular thing done because his wife of 15 years refuses to do it? Is he wrong?
Yes.
And would that be cheating?
Yes. Yes and yes.
What is the thing that he's getting?
Not
Just be
getting.
clear, because
Not getting.
Use your imagination.
can we just be clear on that?
There is a
Probably with their little finger. But Of course, that's too
Yeah,
easy to answer.
it's yes and yes.
But see, the question though is, if
Of
it's been
course it's
15
yes,
years and
yes.
he ain't been getting it done, I mean,
What's
some-
got to
He's
do with
probably
anything?
cheating anyway.
yeah, I mean,
No,
15
he's not. He's not.
He's not cheating.
15 years and I got to get, that's
Okay, so why won't she do this thing for him?
She says she doesn't want to, and she's not going to do it. But,
Well,
but
then
if
maybe-
it were me,
Well, maybe she
I
need
would
to-
go. I wouldn't even get mad. Like if it were my husband and I said, you know, babe, I don't do that. I'd be like, well, go find somebody who does it because I'm just not doing it.
but that could lead to
You
other
let your man
things.
go and do something to somebody else?
If I'm not going to do
Seriously?
it, like,
That
okay,
could lead
say
to
like
other
I like
There's
chocolate
some
cake.
things you need to get over. You can't just have everything you want just because, you know.
Thank you.
You have to look at the whole person. This woman means this much to me. She's had my children. I love her. She supports me. She takes care of our home. Everything about this woman is me. So I don't get her little finger up my anus, but I live. I mean, you know, you got to let some stuff go. You can't have it all.
Let some stuff go. Exactly.
Chime in, Beverly.
Well, my personal opinion about this is that there's something definitely lacking, and he's going to be unsatisfied with it regardless. So he's going to be unhappy. And even in a relationship and a lovemaking, that's lacking. So
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think he should cheat because he knew before.
He did know.
You know,
before, yeah.
so he made that choice. You know.
But maybe he thought she was going to change or she was going to do that because
Yeah,
I
but
married
he
you.
needed to
But
work
you
out the
don't marry
kinks
people
between the
unless
But see,
15
some
years.
do. Yeah, I married you. I gave you this now. You know, this little thing.
It should be established. That's
doesn't
why
make
I
people do
say.
things.
That's why I say everything should be established at the beginning.
True.
If it's established at the beginning, then we don't have no hidden agendas, right?
Exactly.
And it goes back to we put too much importance on sex. People have been so turned out. You know, before I decided to get celibate, I realized that young girls are just too vulgar. Some of the stuff they want to do is like, you want to do what? What has somebody been doing to you? You know, and they're
Sex is
just
important.
nasty.
Sex is very important in
It's-
a relationship, or even if you're not married.
Yeah.
You need that balance sometimes. I mean, I've been where I've been without sex and at the same time, but it's a lie sometimes you think that you don't masturbate. Should
No,
be going into
balance
this.
is good. Sex is good.
Yeah, what you say your name is? Yes, I mean this is great. It's adult conversation and it's true. You know, I'm practicing celibacy and it's a great thing to have. But because I'm celibate, oh no, my phone does not ring. No one calls me. If I get a late night call, it's the wrong number because it's not happening. Like there's no social life with the opposite sex if you're not having sex.
Yeah. You know, and yes, sex is normal, it's important, it's good, but we don't have to be so hedonistic. And there's a spirit of like, what else can I do with the body that's just getting out of control? People just being vulgar.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have to do some of the stuff they do to enjoy a good
I've been
normal
celibate.
orgasm.
I've been celibate and I've hang out and so on. But if you make up in your mind that you're going to be disciplined, you're going to be disciplined. You have to draw the line somewhere. You have to. Else you're telling yourself a lie. You're not doing it, because that's what you really want to. So you can be around male and female influence because, but at the same time, because cheating is both ways. Men or women, some people goes both ways.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, the name of the show was Why Men Cheat, but
Okay.
Yeah, see,
we've
that's how they had it
actually
first.
we've migrated it. It's migrated into Why Men and Women
As a woman
Cheat.
host, so you know that would be the
I'm just the moderator. So does anybody have like any other question, like a burning question that you could throw out there
Oh, it's a lot of them.
as far as cheating and
I mean, do people cheat because of financial reasons? Do people cheat because they're not good in bed? I mean, it's a lot of
But
things.
what about this? What if you've been married or you're with someone and they cheat one time? Do you forgive them and take them back?
Yes.
Yeah, if you love them enough, then you forgive them because cheating could be like any other sin or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But wait a
Maybe
minute, though. Wait a minute, because
No, cheating could be like say your mate cuss you out royally or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could be, somebody could take that as, ooh, that's so bad, I have to go. I can't take this no more, right? So forgiveness is forgiveness. You don't pick and choose what you want to forgive the person for if you really love that person. You forgive them for
But if
whatever.
that person really love you,
because
why
God
in that
forgive us for
situation?
whatever. And can I just say one little burning question? I do have a burning
Go
question.
ahead.
I grew up in churches that the pastor did speak about not having sex before marriage. So there is some really good pastors out there. I just want to put that
I
out
agree.
there.
There are.
Because I grew up under some. Now, even now, yes, I have the pastors that I've been up under. They all talk about not having sex before marriage.
Okay,
So,
but let's stay on topic.
Yeah, I am. I just want to
But
put
I have
them in
something for what
Go
you
ahead.
said. if that person loved that person. If you love that person, why are you even in that situation to even be cheating? Your mind should be focused. If this man is touching you, kissing on you, you should be thinking, this is my husband, I can't do this. This is my wife, I can't do this. You need to get out of that subject. So if it happened, why should I forgive you?
Well, because thank you.
Because we're
But men
human.
cheat for different reasons.
Yeah, but
Okay, why do men cheat? She said why men cheat. Let me hear you say why men cheat, and then we'll tell you why we cheat.
For lack of something that's going on in their life at that particular time and that purpose. They cheat sometimes because of financial reason. They cheat sometimes because of lack of sexual commitment with that partner that they have.
Now, see, go ahead, keep going, I'm sorry.
Right. Emotionally, they're not getting what they need, so they cheat. Men need attention.
But see, on that note, she said the type of man you describing would actually be a good man. Now, you got a man out there that he just going to do it regardless. That's his nature. He just got to have a lot of women. He going to have a lot of women.
Right.
The man you speaking on was a good man to me.
I actually have to give it to
No,
the ladies. You both gave some very good, very informed reasons for why a lot of men cheat, and did a good job of it, and it was fair. They weren't just talking about guys who are just man whores. They were talking about men who are trying to be reasonable husbands who get in a situation, and what they said was very honest. Sometimes women aren't handling their business, not in the bedroom, and also for a man to not be respected. A lot of times when a man does cheat, he's just doing it with somebody who gives him peace and makes him feel valid, makes him feel respected and appreciated. She don't have to look like nothing. She just she rubs his head and gives him some good food.
Exactly.
They're not all looking for a super freak. Sometimes they just want to feel like,
Someone to listen
I
to
love
them.
my wife.
Yeah.
I want to take care of my children. I'm going to be there. But this woman, she doesn't cause any problem with my family. She understands. She just is nice. And it's sad when a man is in a situation where he can't really get the love and respect from the woman that he wants to get it from.
Yeah.
And it's sad when a man isn't strong enough to abstain from getting it from someplace else. But some people just aren't that strong. They got to get what they feel they need, otherwise they crumble. And what we need to do is a better job of being what we're supposed to be to the people that we align our lives with.
Amen.
And not leave them in a situation where they're in outer darkness, trying to, and of course they feel bad about themselves. Sometimes a man will have a relationship with a woman 10 years, have a whole second thing going on just because he's trying to complete himself. And some women do that too. And we have to be responsible to the people that we give our lives to.
Keith,
Both
you have anything
sides.
to say?
I think he nailed it
Okay.
on that.
Burning
one.
question, though, I have.
Burning question.
You married 20 years. It was strong in the beginning. It just started to gradually decrease. Then what happens?
I'll tell you what happens. I was married 3 years. It decreased like in the first month. We had sex 5 times in a 3-year marriage. None at all for the last year and a half. And one day she was just feeling really nice and charitable and said, you know what, I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So you can have sex with somebody else. I don't care. It's fine.
Wow.
I was insulted. I said, how dare you say that to me? I said, you can't give me a right to violate my commitment to you, to God and my family, to go and lay down with somebody else. It's like, who do you think you are? And I decided at that point, if I never have sex another day in my life, I'm going to stay there and handle my responsibility and love my wife and my family as I told her, God, and these children that I would be there. And a commitment is a commitment. And it's not qualified or validated by what somebody else does.
Right.
Your commitment belongs to you. And your commitment is something that is an honor and a reverence to the person that you said you love and to God. Now, if they're not acting right, sometimes you got to deal with it or hope that they come around. In this particular case, she left the marriage as she did. She was married before me and left that marriage. So I had no choice. I was forced into divorce, but I wasn't going anywhere. She said I finally had to leave because I realized I tried to run you away. I realized I couldn't. So I just had to go. But if you're committed, you're committed.
Yeah.
And a commitment does not have to be qualified.
Well, she wasn't committed.
Right, she wasn't committed.
where's
But
the happiness?
I felt good when it all went down as a man to know that I'm
did your
every bit
best.
the man that I felt I was and that I committed to be. So I felt I felt great. When she left, I just said, I'm free.
Right.
I got no choice. She left.
Right.
But, I did my part. And so, and when I have to face God, I can say, hey, God, I did what I was supposed to do.
Right. Well, what about when, like I have a friend. I have a lot of friends. They confide in me. I have a friend.
Need to tell their business on the radio.
I'm not gonna use any names though. His name was Joe Schmo.
Tell me what he did. I might know who it is.
He had a girlfriend. He proposed to his girlfriend. They were so excited. They were happy. He's cheating on the side. The girl finds out that he proposes to his girlfriend, and she has the audacity, the nerve to get mad and started to email the girl, to leave notes on her car. So what happens when the person steps out and they actually physically go and cheat, and the person who we say might be okay with it, the side chick or whatever, for this 10 years or 5 years or 4 years, they might be okay. What happens when they step it up and they're like, no, I need you to leave her. No, I need you to be with me. You've been cheating with me all this time. You said you were going to leave her, even if they don't, or a guy might say that. What happens once you cheat and then it blows up into something you really didn't want in the first place? You really don't even want that person. You really want to be at home.
That's what you get, because that's what that person get. Because first of all, even the girl that's cheating, she needs to know that if he's cheating on her, even if he do leave her to get with him, to get with her, he's gonna cheat on her too. Because a cheater is a cheater, and that's it. It don't matter what the person, because they could be like Halle Berry. We got these pretty women in the industry or whatever. They get cheated on too, you know. So it's not about cuteness or whatever. It's just about finding that perfect person, that spirit, mind, body, and soul connected to you. You know what I'm saying? And it should be discussed. It should be talked about.
What do you do when the person goes loco and says, "You're gonna leave her? You cheated with me. I want you to be with me"?
Then he just gonna have to deal with it, because see, that's his fault for cheating with somebody and getting this girl all emotional, wrapped up into him, and then that's her fault too, because she knew he was in a relationship. She shouldn't have been cheating with him neither. Okay. So they both wrong.
The whole thing is immature. It's just stupidity.
But that's the man.
You know, they all need to walk away and go start over. You know, if he wants to be a man whore, then both women should be like, I don't want any part of this. But women nowadays are too silly, and their self-esteem is too low to realize their own worth. You know, and anytime somebody's doing that, who would want to marry somebody like that? He's already said, I'm planning to do this to you the whole term. I just got engaged to you, and I can't wait to get started cheating on you. So, I mean, what's the point? That's not even a conversation.
Well, I think men, he probably wanted to do something just a little bit on the side, but with women, we have an emotional attachment. So that's what happened, and it involved in something else, and she got emotionally attached.
Yeah.
It was
She's
also
supposed to be
he was
emotional.
feeding her too. He was feeding her all this stuff, making her believe this stuff.
Her, you know,
You don't have to feed. You don't even have to feed a woman anything. If you're
she's
spending
wrong.
time with her sexually, that's enough sometimes.
Yeah, but she's wrong too, just as wrong, because you're a woman. You should have enough respect for a relationship to know that, okay, I'm not going to cheat on this woman because I would want another woman to respect me when I'm in a relationship.
But
you have to do unto others as you have them do unto you.
And that's absolutely true, but a lot of women are gullible. And
but gullible ain't got
they're
nothing to do
gullible,
with
and they
getting in the
need
bed with
that
somebody.
attention in their life also.
Right.
Ain't got
Let's let
nothing to do
Keith
with it.
say
Both ways.
something. Keith?
Oh yeah, you tagged. Sorry, my phone. You tagged mind, heart, body, soul. I'm totally with you. I think that is, but I think that is most important. That should be held above all regards, and that should be before sex.
Yeah.
I didn't know that back then when I was younger, but now that is regarded high above sex, and sex is honestly should be a bonus if you have that linked, right?
Everything.
I mean, I've got that because I mean I have another personal experience with that. I got some experiences.
Back to the gray room.
I'll try and stay in the clear room this time. No, I was in the right on this one. So I had this girlfriend. She was actually like my first real girlfriend, and I was with her for 3 years. But we jumped right into bed right away, and it was like I didn't have any Christian morals. I mean, I've been changed since then, but back then it was just all about, like I said, all of the flesh, and so. Yeah, so anyways, like it was great, and that's all we did, and I thought I was in love with her. I thought I was madly in love with her. I wanted to marry her. I wanted her to have my babies, you know what I mean? But it was all just the sex. That's all it was. That's all, now looking back. So anyways, I was totally infatuated with her, but I literally hung out with her every single day, all the time. I dedicated my everything to her, and she was the type of woman who always needed a man. She always needed somebody there. And the one day, she really wanted to hang out with me, but I told her ahead of time, like, I'm really into football, so I wanted to watch the NFL draft. I was like, this is my day. I'm going to sit down with my brother. We're going to watch football, if you want to come, you can. She's like, no, I want you to hang out with me. I said, no, I'm going to be with my brother. We're watching football. I find out later she goes and hangs out with one of my really good friends, and I find out later that she had sex with him. She cheated on me with him that night.
Wow.
Just because you didn't want to give her attention.
Just because I didn't give her that little bit of attention.
She's
that
like,
one
I'll
single
show
day.
you.
I give her 3 years of attention, and then one day, and that's all it takes. So.
Wow. So were
She
you
had some-
hurt?
Yeah, I was really, really hurt. She had some psychological problems, obviously. Yeah, I was really devastated. Yeah, I was devastated.
Sometimes people do things and people don't care. Sometimes they cheat and they're like, whatever. I was over
That's
him
if they used to
anyway.
get cheated on so many
Okay,
times.
I got a burning one.
Tim has a burning one. Let's
I'm going to
stop the
hold all
presses.
3 of you women responsible for all your sisters and answer this question because I don't understand this to save my life.
He going
But
deep.
deep.
Now, women have this strong aversion to being cheated on. They can't stand it when a man cheats on them and lays down with another woman. Right? I'm right?
Right.
Okay. How in the heck do some of these low-life, funky coochie women lay down with only married men? They will only date a married man.
Yeah,
They don't want any man unless he's got a wife.
Homework.
Because they feel like I get all the good parts. He's gonna buy me stuff and take me to nice restaurants and take me on vacations, and then she has to go home and deal with all the real stuff. How in the world do they justify that?
There's no
Now
justice.
that's an extreme level of cheating, because they're the protagonists in the situation.
I feel there's no justification. I mean, I'm a type of, this is how I am. I don't know about everybody else, and I'm sure that we probably may or may not agree.
Oh, y'all gotta
but,
answer for
But
me. Why
I
you speak for other
feel,
people's
there's no justification for it, especially if you know from the get-go that a man is having another woman. I feel like it's no justification for it.
It's even past that. It's aggressive. They go seeking married men.
Right,
That's what they
right.
want.
Exactly.
Well, we have all kinds of women in the world.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're insecure, I think,
Right.
when they go seeking a married man, because first of all, they feel like, oh, I can have this married man, but I don't have to have a commitment. But really, the root of that is they're very afraid to even make a commitment to a single man. They really afraid. You know what I'm saying? Because if they wasn't afraid, why would you want a married man that you're never going to have? He's always going to be with his wife. So I feel the root of that is they're afraid to make a commitment. And they feel like, oh, as long as I'm the woman getting somebody else's woman, I don't have to worry about being cheated on because I'm cheating with somebody.
Or is it that they don't want the responsibility?
No, I think it's more so they're afraid.
Afraid, okay.
They're afraid. That the root of that, I believe, is fear.
I had to chime in on that. It all has to do with responsibility. It's just like having a friend that has no kids, but always has the kids at her house. Because at the end of the day, she can send them back home.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to deal with the responsibility.
Right.
A woman that does that, they get all the glory, but no responsibility.
Right.
Like she said, she gets the rings, the cars, everything out, the attention, the going out to dinner, the hanging out, but she doesn't have to
Watch
play
the
home.
dirty
She doesn't have to
drugs.
play house.
Right.
She doesn't have to
She's
clean nothing. She doesn't have
afraid
to
to play
take care. She doesn't have to cater. She doesn't take care of when he's sick. None of that's emotional stuff she has to worry about.
Yeah.
So
All
the
she has
key
to do
word
is
is
get all the glory.
selfishness.
Yes.
And it's
Selfishness.
fear.
Straight selfishness.
It's fear because she fears that if she
Good
do
point.
get a relationship like that, it may not work. So I don't want to go through that fear of rejection or whatever. So let me go and get a married man so that way I'll never feel rejected.
Okay, Beverly's gonna.
know women that well.
Beverly's,
Well, I know me.
Beverly's gonna chime in. Go ahead, Beverly.
Well, it goes back to, lacking something in your life, feeling insecure. You might see a parents, a lot of people sometimes I've noticed, sometimes they've seen their mother cheat. The mother's been with a married man, so they follow suit, So, but at the same time, I do agree with what he said. They don't want to take on the whole full responsibility of being that full marriage and everything that is deals to do with the commitment of a marriage.
Right.
So you don't think money plays an issue in that, though? If you got this married man that got money, and then you want to go after this married man, you don't think it's geared toward the money?
Yeah, because sometimes
Money
it's
can
what
be
she
single
needs.
man
It
that
might
have
be
money.
money,
Definitely
it might be
thank
attention,
you.
it might be, one thing or another. People cheat because of lack of something in your life.
Well, I'm speaking
at
on
that
what she was saying. The question he asked about why do they do that, and you look at, she was saying how they get the cars, they get this, they get that kind of stuff, but it could be because they never had that kind of stuff. This man want to buy you, shower you with gifts and everything like that. So of course you're gonna do whatever he asks you to do.
Yeah.
But then you
Be
give
a
up your
side chick.
you give up your worth.
You give up your word, and then you forget
They
about
put a
the
dollar
emotional
price on that. They
part.
put a dollar on that word.
emotional part, then like how she said earlier, when she get emotional, now she wants more than the money.
She falls in love
Now
with
she
them,
wants
yeah.
the whole bang, right? So why not go get the whole thing in the first place, right? Because I feel like it's still, I just still say go back to responsibility, like he said. They don't want the responsibility, but I think it's the fear. Fear is keeping, because in order to be loved, you have to put yourself in the position to be hurt. And a lot of people don't want to put themselves in that position.
I never thought about that.
Because of past experience.
Because of past, exactly. So it's fear. The root of that is, I believe, is fear.
I still kind of think it's selfishness because some of them brag about it. And they'll have a collection of married men, and they just go hunting married men. They just like it. They're like, he takes me here, he takes me there, and they're bragging about it. They think it's great because they feel
Does it
like
become a norm?
they feel entitled.
See, that's why I think it's more the money, though. I mean, it's more of like, you know,
Well, yeah, that and entitlement. Because some women feel like because they're attractive and they can pull any man they want, they feel special. Like, even though he has a wife, I'm so hot that he's actually going to be with me. And he's going to take me on a vacation, not his wife. Leave that old hag at home. He's taking me. So it's really ego. It's entitlement. It's selfishness. Maybe a little bit of fear. But I don't, they ain't scared to be with another woman's wife and get their head beat in. So they're not that fearful. Yeah. But, you know, some men like to deal with married women, but I don't think that I haven't personally met men that I think go hunting for married women quite the same way as some women hunt for married men. You know, if she's married or not, they can care less. They just want a woman. But there's some women who will not date a single man. They just feel like maybe it's a thrill. There's a thrill aspect as well because they're excited about.
Right.
I got somebody else's husband. He loves me.
Now I have a burning question now.
You got one now?
Since you
This is
asked
the
that
last burning question.
This is a burning question.
You asked
okay,
for it.
so Tim, since you say that, what about the men? Can you talk up for the men? And you two, and you, both of y'all, all of y'all, all four of y'all. Can you guys talk up for the men that wants to seek out the woman because he just wants that thing on the side? What about those men? What is their justification
that's
for
a burning
always
question.
want to have a thing on the side?
You know, some people like cheese and wine, and they're connoisseurs.
Are you serious, Tim? Are you serious? Did you just say that? Did you just say that?
There are some men that just like a box of chocolates, you know, you want to take each one out and take a little bite and nibble and see which one you like the best. There's some men who just are that simply primal. They just like to see what they feel like.
Exactly.
Because they all kind of feel a little different.
Yeah, because I could see a guy like
And that's whorish.
a crazy girl. You know, he goes out with her when he wants to have a wild time, and then having a girl he can go to church with. You know, I mean, you can have a girl for every day of the week, a different
Then they're
type of
just
girl.
animals.
They're animals, and they're beasts.
That right there, you just sewed it up. It's how a person makes a perfect person. To make a perfect person, you have to take pieces of everybody and put them together.
You gotta have it.
Like a long time ago, a comedian said like that, right? You got to take a man that's was a mandingo that's good in the bed. You got to have a man that has money. You got to have an old man that just wants to give you money. Then you got to have a man that listens to you, which is usually the gay guy that hangs out with you, that listens, right? That's how you make a perfect man. You get all these men and put them together to make one perfect person. There's some guys that are just beasts. And then there's some guys that try to make a perfect woman. At home, they might not get a person that cooks, but they got that one girl that's always baking, always throwing things together, and cooks them a meal. They got one woman that may great in bed, does everything he wants. They put that woman together, right, with the other woman. Then they have the woman that's a housewoman that they're married to that takes care of the house, but is always nagging. Then they have that one person they can talk to that won't nag them.
So that man just want a tribe.
Yes, he's
So
trying
the
to put
thing
together a
is,
perfect person.
She's
When your
got it.
husband comes home 3 or 4 days out of the week and says, "Oh, baby, I'm full, I already ate," that means he been to Shanae house.
Yes.
It's Spike Lee, she's got to have it. Nola Darling did exactly that. She had 3 men that composited together, satisfy all her needs. This guy is stable and nice and intelligent. This guy just freaks me, and this guy is just a friend. He's a buddy.
What about when you have the whole package? What about when you have the whole package and you still cheat?
That's a perfect person.
There's never a perfect package. We're not perfect.
It's a perfect
There's
package
but that's why it never lasts because of that
Because
reason.
you know why I think it is? Because there's people that has been married for years that probably have not cheated. So everybody in this world do not cheat.
But that doesn't make- But that,
No,
yes.
they just have that perfect person.
Yeah.
And
We-
they
this
has
maybe
to be-
it's a
Listen,
thing of
listen.
teaching too.
That's not
You
perfect.
can teach a person.
That's not perfect
But you
because
can teach a person to cook.
no, listen to me.
You can
God
teach a
said,
person how to
God,
have
Please,
sex.
we're gonna wrap it up because I'm.
God
missing
even
many
said
events.
there is no perfect person. Okay, when a person
Perfect
finds a
for
person
you.
they can be with, they not settle, but they compromise with things. It's compromisation.
You saying that
Listen,
everybody got to cheat?
no,
then?
no one's. Well, I made up a word. Yes. I made up a word. Yes,
you
because
saying
you're not.
everybody
Listen.
gotta
You can get mad and say that you're perfect. You're not perfect. No one's perfect.
I feel like I'm the whole package.
You might be a whole package, but there's something that you're not having, that you're not giving somebody.
know.
Listen. That man loves you so much, says, you know what? I don't care about that thing that she doesn't do. I love her, so I put that to the side.
So he shouldn't cheat, right?
Correct. And that's where it comes in, but not everybody's like that because we're not all perfect.
Right.
So you
Not
gotta
that
think
we're
of it like
perfect,
that.
But
Okay.
there's that perfect person for you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here.
We thought we'd go all night.
We could go all night.
we need another.
It's over. We need another show. In 6 weeks, we're gonna do this panel again. You're
So I
all
gotta
welcome
wait?
to come back. We're gonna do this again in 6 weeks, and you're all welcome to come back. We're gonna be right
Wow,
here.
we're too fast.
Go around. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to say bye bye to the people. Everybody gets 10 seconds. 'Cause I gotta do my
Bye bye
community
to the
events.
people. Karen, my best friend, Wakita. I said I had to give you guys a shout out because this time, I ain't forget you guys this time. Love y'all. Bye.
If you want to hear more of what I have to say, I'm on Facebook, Tim Alexander, LA, the city I live in, or filmmaker Tim Alexander. You can find me there. And yeah, I say this kind of stuff all the time.
All the time. Exactly.
Okay.
Very
And
controversial,
Ricky Richardson over there.
But it's good. though, Tim. It's
Say
good.
goodbye to everyone. I just want to say thank you for having me. It's my first time being here, and I had a ball. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Beverly.
Thank you for having me. I have to say, love yourself, stay balanced, and true to yourself. One love.
Where you going, Keith?
And Keith.
Oh.
I'm on.
Thank you, Keith,
I'm
for
Keith.
stepping in. Keith O'Leary. O'Leary. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Belated St. Patrick's Day. Okay, cool. All right. So we spoke about April Fool's Day. It was today. Did you trick anyone? It's not too late. There's an open mic and free food on April 3rd, which is Friday. It's at the Burbank Mission. So the cost is free. Let me give you the number. You can call those good folks over in Burbank if that's your neighborhood or you want to travel over there. They're going to have artists and they're going to have a musical celebration. The number is 818-846-1070. You can call them and let them know you're coming, or you can just show up. And then there's a free jam session. There's a drum circle. That sounds like that's going to be fun. It's in San Fernando, California. That's going to be on Saturday, April 4th. The phone number for those folks the number is 818-898-7340. And then there's Norris B and the Mighty Burnt Bacon Band. That sounds like that might be interesting. 943 North Broadway. 943 North Broadway. The number is 213-626-2285. And then there are First Fridays at California State Long Beach. That's going to be great. Shoreline Village, always a great place to visit. Shoreline Village, any day of the week, you can have a great time there. That's going to be this Friday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. First Fridays. It's going to be a nice place to get together and meet people. They're going to have musical guests. So Shoreline Village, you can't miss it. It's going to be right there. And Granada Hills is having a Grub Fest Friday, April 3rd from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's going to be at 18000 Chatsworth Street. And they didn't give a phone number, but Granada Hills is Granada Hills. And then for those people who love beer, the LA Beer Fest is coming this Saturday, April 4th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be at 450 South Bixel Street. Let me give you the number for the LA Beer Fest, 213-534-3000. And I'm just going to go through. We're going to talk about Easter Sunday. Let's give it up for Easter. Yay! Tim's not going to give it up because before the show he said it's a fabricated holiday. So, I mean, because what does bunnies have to do with the resurrection of our Christ? I mean, of Jesus. But Easter, for those of you who do celebrate, we have a little origin. It was created back in the 13th century, decorating eggs, things that don't have anything to do with religion, but It's there for you if you want to go buy the baskets. It'd be a great time. 7th annual Downtown Easter Fest is going to be this Sunday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's at Grand Hope Park, 919 South Grand Avenue, and the cost for that one is $10. And then anyone else that wants to go to the LA Zoo this weekend, they're going to have a lot going on Friday all the way till Sunday. They're going to have exciting things you can do all about Easter, So I think that's it. Easter Festival's another one. 1440 South Anaheim. That's in Anaheim, California. Easter Festival. It's a free event, and the number to call those good folks is 714-999-0888. Google these things. You can find out great things that are going on in Cerritos. I have to say this one because I'm a food truck girl. I can't wait till the food trucks start coming to our neighborhoods this summer. This one is going to be Saturday, April 4th from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. in Costa Mesa. And it's only like $2 to go. So it's the 9th annual. I'm going to put that one on top. You might see me at this one here on Sunday. We're going to say goodbye to all of our guests. I want to thank everyone for coming in. Gail Davis, let's give her a hand. Woo-hoo-hoo. Very opinionated. She has a book that's out, and you have to look her up. She'll be back. She'll be at Roscoe's, and she's going to be doing book signings in front of our restaurants at Roscoe's. And then Tim Alexander, you can find him on Facebook under Tim Alexander, filmmaker Tim Alexander, and he's controversial there just like he is here. I mean, we almost boxed it out, but we're gonna be adult about it and go our separate ways until the next 6 weeks. I'm gonna make him come back. And then Ricky Richardson, let's give him a hand. Thank you for coming. He is my daughter's oldest father. Ooh, didn't know I saved it to the last little bit. And then we had Miss Beverly, who I grabbed from the restaurant. Thank you so much for coming in. And you're welcome also to come back. And then we have Keith O'Leary, who has some tasty stories to tell us. I'm sure he has a very interesting life. He's like, when I was younger, and he looks so young. But we're going to say good night from the community with me after dark. We had a nice conversation, and we're going to do this again in 6 weeks. We'll see you next week in the community. Bye-bye.